Hi everyone, and welcome back to this Football Manager 2015 experiment where I'm just tracking the career of Martin Ødegaard, the 15-year-old Norwegian wonder kid that's been hitting the headlines recently and already has a few caps for the full Norwegian team. In the last episode I got up to the age of 23, but I'm just going to holiday all the way to the end of his career now. I don't want to drag this out too much, so this is part 2 and the last part. If you haven't watched part 1, please check that out first. If you can't find it, it's in the description below. I'll put the link in there for you to just click on. So, Ødegaard, at the age of 25, is still at Atletico Madrid. He's managed to score 25 goals in 66 games for Norway now, and is earning 185k a week and worth 31.5 million. Played many games in the last season, as you can see, 54 appearances in total and 18 goals. 6 goals in 8 games for Norway as well this season. So he's doing very well. His attributes have increased slightly since the age of 23, I believe. You can double check that yourself if you like. And he has a minimum release clause of 92 million, which may cause problems in terms of other teams coming in for him. So he may not actually get to see him go on to a big team or move on at all until perhaps his 30s, when his value will go down. So we'll just have a look at his career achievements, because I haven't really looked at that yet. So if you want, you can pause the video as I scroll up and you can see everything that he's won in his career. Well, these are all of the landmarks really. So there's a lot of things there, you know, best player for Norway, best player for Atletico Madrid, team of the week, team of the season, that sort of thing. So there's plenty of things, but the main thing we need to look at is competitions. Has he won anything? No. By the looks of it, he hasn't actually won any trophies yet with Atletico Madrid, unless they're not showing for whatever reason. This is his biography so far. At the end, we will look at his biography just to see how his whole career has panned out. So, Atletico Madrid have been up and down looking at it. Finishing in the last few seasons sort of either in the top 4 or outside the top 4. That's an obvious statement there. But quite a way outside the top 4. 8th place, 2nd, 7th, then 4th. So they've had Champions League football on and off really, despite having Ødegaard in the team. I found out that his potential is -9, which means he can reach between 150 and 180, which the highest rating for a player is 200, for those of you that don't know Football Manager terms. So it depends on how he's trained up, how often he plays, as to whether he will reach a really good potential of maximum of about 180. Now, I've installed the in-game editor for this reason, so we can actually see in-game, in this save, what he's like. His potential ability is 169, he's reached that already, so he shouldn't improve any more. So he's sort of in the middle ground. So in some saves he will be better, especially I guess if he goes to a big team and has actually played there. If he goes to a big team like Man City and has not played, then his potential may actually go down, because they obviously can ruin youngsters if they're not played. But if they're played regularly at a team like Man City and plays in the Champions League all the time, then he should become a real beast. But he's become a good player, a very good player, but he could be better. So at the age of 27, he's still at Atletico Madrid, so he has got stuck there. Doesn't look like he's going to move at all. His contract does end in 2 years, so if someone wants to buy him, he'll be expensive this season and possibly cheaper next season. 31 goals in 79 games for Norway, who are 16th in the world rankings. They've been pretty high for the last couple of years. Ødegaard is their top performer. They've also got Lundermo, looks pretty solid. But they've done well. I don't know if they've won anything. We'll have to check the World Cup. So of course, we haven't actually had the 2026 World Cup yet. France won the last one. And are Norway in this one? Let's see. Have they made it to the World Cup? Can't see them there. Sweden are there. But I can't see Norway. So they've missed out again, unfortunately. Mexico are hosting this one. So this is Oh, we're on the wrong one here. We want to see the last World Cup, don't we? Okay, here we are, 2022 World Cup. So, Norway didn't make this one either. They just haven't got to World Cup, have they? Which is a shame. Perhaps they will in 2030. He should still be in the team by then. European Championships, Germany won it in 2020, Spain in 2024, so they've come back to prominence by the looks of it in recent years. Spain beat Portugal in the final. So 2024, we want to look at all the groups. Let's see if Norway were in this one. There they are, they finished second in their group. Brilliant. Okay, second round. How did they do? They lost against Spain 2-1, who went on to win it in the end. So going back to Ødegaard, he has actually won something with Atletico Madrid. They managed to win the Euro Cup in 2026, which is the one that's just happened, beating AS Monaco in the final. We can't actually see the match, unfortunately. But that's at last some sort of achievement for him. And they finished fourth in the league, meaning they have qualified for the Champions League, which is good. And Real Madrid's dominance has eventually been ended by Barcelona, who have now dominated the last 4 times. It's interesting how that goes. So, at the age of 29, he's still at Atletico Madrid. His wage has gone up to 205k a week, but his value's gone down a bit. His minimum fee release clause has in fact gone up though, and his contract expires in 2031, so he did sign a new contract. And he's just got stuck at, he's happy at Atletico Madrid, I guess. He's become a club legend and done very well there. Has eventually won a couple more things. The European Super Cup, which was obviously the same year as that Euro Cup victory. Also ended up winning the Spanish Cup just recently against Espanyol in the final. So a couple of more competitions to add to his trophy cabinet, which is quite slim really. And they were actually runners-up in the Champions League, which is very unlucky, losing 2-0. Oh, that's the semi-final. Winning 2-0 against Bayern Munich in the semi-final, losing 1-0 against Juventus in the final. We can actually have a look at this game. Someone called Zulu scored the winner. A regen from Brazil. Looks pretty decent. They've got Liali in goal. I've got him for my West Ham save. So Ødegaard didn't have a very good game with a 6.4 rating and was substituted towards the end. But it wasn't helped by the fact they had a red card. So, is there any real players in it? There's 2 Zulus. Friday Johnson. Interesting. It's funny looking at some of these region names, isn't it? So, Liali's a real player. He must be quite old now, though. He's 35, yeah. Looks great, though. Would recommend signing him. Free at the end of the first season. That's how I got him anyway, so I presume everyone else can do that. So, I guess we should holiday again to when he's sort of in his 30s. Just be a couple more times now. And then see how old he is when he ends his career, really. This is quite interesting, actually. Some interesting stats and statistics that you can see. You may want to pause it and have a look at that. So, at the age of 33, I've holidayed 4 seasons. He's still at Atletico Madrid. 34 goals in 98 games for Norway. I believe he may have retired from international duty. But he's still earning a huge amount of money. But his value's obviously gone down a lot. So if a team comes in now for it with a reasonable fee, I guess he could move. But, he's been not really a one-club man, but for the majority of his career he has been, because it was only in those first couple of seasons where he was actually elsewhere. Since 2016 he's been at Atletico Madrid, so he spent 16 years here, which is just crazy, really, when you think about it, for someone of his quality. But still reasonably good all round, really. See his achievements. Broke the Atletico all-time record for most league appearances. Still winning Norwegian Player of the Year regularly. Spanish Super Cup runners-up, and they've eventually won the league, which is brilliant, in 2031. But the only team other than Barcelona and Real Madrid to win one of the leagues during this save, so quite far ahead of Real Madrid as well. Only 3 defeats all season. Don't think we can really see the stats for previous seasons, but this season, is Ødegaard on here? I'm not sure I can see him, but I mean, he's won it late into his career, eventually at the age of about 32. Let's have a look at some of these players. Stefano Luzzi looks pretty good for Real Madrid. Very good goals to games ratio for Italy. In fact, I found a really good Norwegian regen. Let's go to Ødegaard and then to Norway. There was a striker that had so many goals, but I think that may be later on. I think this was the guy. 63 goals in 63 games for Norway. That's insane. And finally, this is his last season. I've holidayed it again just to check, and I will show you what he's become at the age of 36. But at the age of 35, he was playing for Stuttgart. He finally moved from Atletico to Stuttgart for 1.9 million in the 2032-33 season, and still playing very well with good average ratings. We shall just have a quick look at everything. Emails coming through. Yeah, so there you go. If you wanted to see his stats from all the seasons, you could have paused it there. So let's have a quick look how Stuttgart have done. Bayern Munich and Gladbach have won the last 2 seasons, so he hasn't managed to win the league, although Stuttgart did win it in 29 and 2030, so he's missed out on that, unfortunately. But he still had 2 very good seasons considering his age, but he's going to retire very shortly. As I said, he retired from international duty in 2028, which is why he had no more caps. So have a quick look at how that regen did. If he's still playing in the first team. Where is he? He was here somewhere. This is him. 86 goals in 85 games for Norway. Brilliant. So, all of Ødegaard's achievements, competitions-wise, last thing he won was the league. Managed to get runners-up in Euro Cup and Spanish Super Cup in the end. Here's for his transfers. And this is his biography, so you can read that if you like, if you're interested. And yeah, he won many Players of the Year. I don't know. Oh, we need to check who won World Player of the Year. I'm assuming he didn't manage to do that. World Player of the Year, going all the way back to the start. So Suarez won it in 2015. Messi was second, then Mata. Mata won it there. Ronaldo, Aguero, James Rodriguez there. Suarez again. Aguero with Hazard as second. Hazard this time in a regen, German regen. No, French regen, sorry. Hazard, Aracic, and then we get into the regens, of course. He was the last person, the real person. Lucas Romero managed to get it in third place in 2025. But Ødegaard, unfortunately, never featured. But never mind. Let's see, World Team of the Year, possibly. He may have managed to get into it if we go back to the beginning. I should just check his biography, really. I don't think he was in there, was he? But if we just quickly go through and see if he's there. Don't think he's featured at all, has he? Unfortunately. He just never quite became that really good world-class player. Belanda's there in 2020 alongside Hummels, both from Dortmund. But, oh, wait. No, that's Monaco. I thought that may have been Atletico Madrid then. But never mind. Let me know how he does on your saves. If you're doing a similar exercise in holidaying, let me know. Tell me if he managed to reach the greater heights of World Player of the Year and World Team of the Year, or drag Norway into a World Cup. That would have been good, but never quite managed to do that, did he? I don't think they got into a World Cup anyway. There's an Atletico Madrid player featuring eventually, and Stuttgart player featuring. A Brentford player featured. What? Brentford? What's going on there? Where are they? They're in the Premiership. Wow. They finished second. They finished first. Brentford won the Premier League. What the hell? That's amazing. They must have been bought out by some rich owners. Surely. That is incredible. This is the best thing of the whole... I don't support Brentford, but this is the best thing of the whole experiment. Brentford won the Premier League. I need to screenshot this whilst I remember. There we go. Peterborough in there as well. Wow. Let's quickly go to... Sorry, I'm going off topic here. But they're rich. They must have been bought out by someone. Reputation's up to 4.5 stars. And they've got Paul Richardson, who's captain, goalkeeper. Looks insane. Oh, wow. Oh, that's really good to see. A team doing so well like that from just... An unexpected team doing well without you having any input on the game. But anyway, I think that's probably the end of this episode. Me getting excited about Brentford. But yeah, Martin Ødegaard. We'll quickly go back to him. Oh no, wait, we need to go to his manager profile. Sorry, he became a manager. I'm all confused after that. So here he is as a manager at the age of 36. Doesn't have a club. But there we go. He's done all right in his career. Played one more season with Stuttgart, in fact. 6.9 average rating. Did they win the league? No, Schalke did. But he's had a good career. Not exceptional. He's done all right. Still Norwegian Player of the Year in 2034. Yeah. I suppose some of you probably have noticed other little things, funny things other than the Brentford thing. I know I always get people commenting saying, oh, did you see that? Did you see that? I don't always see because I'm sort of focused on the one task ahead of talking about the player in front of me or the team in front of me, and I don't always notice the odd things, but I just happened to notice that Brentford thing, which is great. Anyway, thank you for watching. Man United won the league that season. Where were Brentford? 4th place. Great to see. Tottenham relegated West Ham and Newcastle as well. But actually, we'll just have a quick look at the Norway team, just to see where they are in the world rankings now that they don't have Ødegaard. Has his legacy lived on? Has he inspired other Norwegian youngsters? They're 17th in the world, but they've just not really done a huge amount, have they? They've got to a European Championship. Their world ranking has actually gone down since Ødegaard came out of the team. Although, to be fair, he hasn't been playing since 2028, has he? So, was that when he retired from international duty? He retired before 100 caps. They always seem to do that on FM. He had 2 more caps to get. And it's not like he was ancient. It just doesn't make any sense, that to me. Just retiring on 98 caps. But never mind. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please leave a like. Oh wait, is this the guy? This is the guy. He is. 93 goals in 96 games. He's slacking. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe for more Football Manager experiments in the future. Hopefully not too far around the corner. And let me know how your Ødegaard is doing and if you've signed him and how good he is. See you soon, guys.